Okay.
Who's that on the photo? Is that your kid?
Yes, it's my older daughter, but she is 2 years old on this photo. Now she is 8.
I see. I see. So, how are you? How are things with you?
Not bad, not bad.
Are you relaxing now, or do you go on working?
Yeah, I'm sleepy. I've got a day off today,
Mm.
and I got up 30 minutes ago.
I see. Okay. So, let's get started. And what? So what we start with is, well, let's have a look at this like number of relationship, yeah, and which of them influenced you most in your life. Well, for me, I would say that the parent-child was the most influential relationship in my life. Then probably I would say a teacher and a pupil, because I've got quite a few teachers who I look up to and who I even try to replicate in some ways. And then I would probably say neighbors. Yeah, because I've got a neighbor who's my friend.
Oh.
And what about you?
Of course, it's parent-child relationships. I've got a lot of influence from my mother. Also teacher pupil, exactly the same as you. I think I had 3 teachers who influenced me very much. One from my school, one from my university, and of course Irina Botner. And life partners, of course. I think relationships with my husband had a lot of influence on me.
I see. Okay, and who are those? What subject did those teachers who influenced you most teach? For me, I think I most adore my school history teacher and my college English teacher. And Irina, doubtlessly, yes. I would say she even caused kind of turning my teaching consciousness upside down, especially on terms of group and pair work. Because when I started working, I mostly relied on whole class work and individual work, yeah. But when I got to know Irina and I got some of her advice, and I started to try those group and pair tasks, and I quite enjoyed it. And when we went on lockdown in March, I caught myself first thinking, oh my, how can I cope without group and peer work? I don't know how to do that in Zoom.
Exactly, yes.
Mhm.
At school, I had a Russian language teacher. Uh, mm, she was so clever. Yes, she
Mhm.
was extremely clever, intelligent, and so on. And I think um, she was the reason why I know Russian language very well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Not as a native speaker, but in theory.
Mhm.
Um, then I had a very inspiring teacher in university, at university, yes.
Uh-huh.
And Irina, of course. So,
Mhm.
because I think the most of English language knowledge I got from university.
Mhm. Mhm.
And um, maybe I got fired. How can I say? Uh, Stopped working at school because of Irina, because she said a lot of information about working at school.
Mhm.
Yes, and she helped me one day, and I attended her master group, the last
Mhm.
one. And after that, I decided to stop working at school.
Mhm. Mhm. I attended the last master group as well. Yeah, it was just great.
Yes, I saw your lessons. I remember them.
Ah,
Yes.
ah.
I even commented it.
Oh, I see. Okay. So now let's go on to listening. Yeah. So
Okay.
5 people talking about a young man and an incident he's been involved in. So decide what was the incident and who is each person? What's the relationship between each person and Toby? Yeah. Ready?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Track 6. 1. When he was a toddler, I'd do the childcare most days, and he was always a bit of a handful. I did try and instill a bit of discipline into him, but I'm not sure it really happened at home. My son would shout and tell him off, but then he'd burst into tears and his mother would comfort him. So, totally mixed messages. I knew it would come to no good, but you can't really interfere, can you? Not that he's all bad. He's helped me out sometimes since I've been unsteady on me feet. But really, if it's true, I hope they treat him severely. It's what he needs to get back on the straight and narrow.
2. The frustrating thing is he's a bright lad, but I would say he has a stubborn streak and he's been prone to outbursts and answering back. I remember once I asked him to change desks to sit next to this girl and he just wouldn't. Just refused point blank. And then we got into this ridiculous confrontation with neither of us willing to back down. I had to call the head in the end. So yeah, I guess it doesn't entirely surprise me he's ended up in this kind of trouble. What should happen now? Well, he should obviously be punished, but after that I'd still give him another chance rather than exclude him permanently. I'm sure he'll learn.
3.
Oh, yeah, hugely talented, and I would have thought he could go all the way and turn professional, so this has come as a big shock. Maybe there's more to it than appears to be the case. He certainly conducted himself well here. You know, I pushed him hard, but he's just taken that in his stride and done everything I've asked of him. He's had the odd dispute on the pitch, but I always took that to be part of the game, rather than something particular to him. He confided that his parents were going through a rough patch, and I was aware that he had a few issues at school, But I think training and matches were always an escape from that, and I made sure he was always focused. Hopefully, this is just a setback rather than the end of his career prospects.
4.
I've been treating him since he came in here. He suffered some quite severe blows, but the operation went very well. It helped he was in remarkably good health for someone of his age, and although he's a little frail now, I'd expect him to make a complete recovery. We're going to monitor him for a few more days, but we'll probably discharge him next week. From what I understand, he's still a bit confused about what happened, but he seems to think the young man who was arrested had actually come to his aid.
5. He's in my class and we kind of went out for a while. He can turn on the charm and that, but he was just too unreliable. When it came down to it, the only thing he was committed to was his football. We'd arrange something, but then he'd be like, "Oh, the coach wants to put us through our paces," or "Coach says we're getting complacent, got to stay on. Early night, coach says I've got to conserve my energy for the game." I said, "You might as well go out with coach because you've let me down too often." I probably would have stayed with him if he'd apologised, but he's too proud, isn't he? Just walked away. It was cold. It's been awkward in class. I actually saw him the night it happened at this friend's party. I don't know what was up with him. He was acting strangely, staring at the people I was with, and there was like a bit of a scene, but I still doubt he'd do something like that.
Okay. So, who was the first speaker?
The first speaker was the most difficult, but I think it's his mom.
You're close to it, but not really. Because remember, she talked about her son and like the disagreement between them, yeah? So that's his grandma.
Grandma, okay, the same. Okay.
Speaker 2.
His teacher.
Yes, exactly.
Number 3, I think it's his coach.
Yes, definitely.
Number 4, maybe it's his doctor.
Yes, why maybe?
It's strange to me just to speak with doctor. Okay. And number 5, his classmate.
Almost, but the relationship was a bit closer. It's his ex-girlfriend. Yeah. Okay, so now let's have a look at these phrases, yeah? So what does it mean, mixed messages? He received mixed messages.
When someone tells you one thing and another person another.
Yes, exactly. Especially if both of these people are like your, to say that, your the authorities to you, yeah?
Yes. Mom and dad, for example.
Okay. Well, get back on the straight and narrow.
To become better?
Not really.
What will help him get back on the straight and narrow? To return to the right way, life way.
Yes, exactly.
I meant this one, yes. How did
Like
ridiculous confrontation come about? Ridiculous means very funny. Confrontation means something which you against for. Oh, ridiculous confrontation. Maybe when someone is against you and it's funny.
Yeah. It's funny maybe because the reason is really minor. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
For instance, I don't know, you want to use a red plate and your daughter wants to use a green plate. Yeah. And that would be, okay.
Why do you think Toby was unwilling to back down? He didn't want to do something.
Not really give, but just back down would mean like accept that you were wrong. When you demanded something and your daughter said she wouldn't do that and you agreed, you said, okay, let's not do it. This would be backing down.
Why has the incident come as a shock to his coach? Because it's a typical situation, because sportsmen usually are very hardworking at training, polite and disciplined and so on, but at school they are not. So I had one incident at school when I worked there, the similar situation. Come as a shock, coach thought about Toby better than Toby was.
Yeah. Okay. Confide to.
Right. Ouch. Maybe is it connected with confident now?
It's connected with confidential.
Confidential. Say something to his coach, but ask him not to tell other person.
Something like that. Something like that. Yes.
It's a kind of secret, yes?
Yes, exactly. Like reveal a secret. Reveal a secret. Okay.
Okay.
So
when the cinnamon was in remarkably good health. When you see that person is healthy.
Yeah, unexpectedly healthy. Yeah. For instance, when an 80-year-old man would, I don't know, win a 10-kilometer marathon.
Yes.
Okay.
Who came to his aid?
What's aid?
Aid? I don't remember. I know this word.
Yes, it's something like help. Yeah, so
yes.
who helped him?
First aid kit, of course. Yes.
Yes.
Who came to his aid?
So who helped him? Yeah. Who helped him? Something like this.
Why did they split up when it came down to it?
So do you know split up first?
Oh, they stopped their relationships.
Yeah, like separated.
Yes. When it came down to it, when this accident happened.
Yes, when it, well, like eventually, finally, when it came to the serious matter, something like this, yeah. And another meaning of the word scene, yeah.
Where was there a scene, and what do you think caused it? Scene, the moment. where and
Kind of
when
moment. Uh-huh.
yes, where and when the incident happened.
Yes, the conflict. The
Yes.
scene here means the conflict.
Mhm.
Okay, and now let's listen again and answer those questions.
Mhm.
Track 6. 1. When he was a toddler, I'd do the childcare most days, and he was always a bit of a handful. I did try and instill a bit of discipline into him, but I'm not sure it really happened at home. My son would shout and tell him off, but then he'd burst into tears and his mother would comfort him. So, totally mixed messages. I knew it would come to no good, but you can't really interfere, can you? Not that he's all bad. He's helped me out sometimes since I've been unsteady on me feet. But really, if it's true, I hope they treat him severely. It's what he needs to get back on the straight and narrow.
2. The frustrating thing is he's a bright lad, but I would say he has a stubborn streak and he's been prone to outbursts and answering back. I remember once I asked him to change desks to sit next to this girl and he just wouldn't. Just refused point blank. And then we got into this ridiculous confrontation with neither of us willing to back down. I had to call the head in the end. So yeah, I guess it doesn't entirely surprise me he's ended up in this kind of trouble. What should happen now? Well, he should obviously be punished, but after that I'd still give him another chance rather than exclude him permanently. I'm sure he'll learn.
3.
Oh, yeah, hugely talented. And I would have thought he could go all the way and turn professional. So this has come as a big shock. Maybe there's more to it than appears to be the case. He certainly conducted himself well here. You know, I pushed him hard, but he's just taken that in his stride and done everything I've asked of him. He's had the odd dispute on the pitch, but I always took that to be part of the game, rather than something particular to him. He confided that his parents were going through a rough patch, and I was aware that he had a few issues at school, but I think training and matches were always an escape from that, and I made sure he was always focused. Hopefully, this is just a setback, rather than the end of his career prospects.
4.
I've been treating him since he came in here. He suffered some quite severe blows, but the operation went very well. It helped he was in remarkably good health for someone of his age, and although he's a little frail now, I'd expect him to make a complete recovery. We're going to monitor him for a few more days, but we'll probably discharge him next week. From what I understand, he's still a bit confused about what happened, but he seems to think the young man who was arrested had actually come to his aid.
5. He's in my class and we kind of went out for a while. He can turn on the charm and that, but he was just too unreliable. When it came down to it, the only thing he was committed to was his football. We'd arrange something, but then he'd be like, oh, the coach wants to put us through our paces, or coach says we're getting complacent, got to stay on. Early night, coach says I've got to conserve my energy for the game. I said, you might as well go out with coach because you've let me down too often. I probably would have stayed with him if he'd apologised, but he's too proud, isn't he? Just walked away. It was cold. It's been awkward in class. I actually saw him the night it happened at this friend's party. I don't know what was up with him. He was acting strangely, staring at the people I was with, and there was like a bit of a scene, but I still doubt he'd do something like that.
Mm-hmm. So what were the mixed messages he received?
Can I answer the question in random?
Yes, definitely. Uh-huh.
Because I can't answer all the questions. It's too difficult. How did the ridiculous confrontation come about? His teacher asked him to change the desks with one girl, and he refused. Yes.
Yes, definitely. Okay.
Why do you think Toby was unwilling to back down? I understand the teacher's speech, but why do you think Toby was unwilling to back down? Maybe because he was a stubborn person. She said she he was a little bit stubborn.
Yes, yes. And maybe just not to lose his face in front of the class.
Maybe.
Because, you know, sometimes teens consider it like not a nice thing to be obedient. Yeah, that's why he just didn't want to show he was obedient.
Why did the doctor say the man was in remarkably good health? Because before that, he had one serious disease and an operation and so on.
Yes.
Who came to his aid? I didn't understand. Maybe a doctor, because I heard that that Toby was arrested. So doctors, nurses.
So the man who had been arrested, yeah, helped him.
I see.
Yes, the man who'd been arrested helped him.
Who came to? Why did they split up when it came down to it? Because to the end of their relationships, Toby was interested only in football and his coach and so on.
Exactly. He was too committed to football. And where was a scene?
Maybe at school. I don't know.
It was at a party, at the friend's party.
To the other questions, I just got maybe predictions.
Okay.
What were the messages Toby received? His grandmother talked so unclear for me, but as I got it, she said that when he was with parents, they always shouted on him, and the child was crying and so on. Maybe, but she maybe behaved another way.
Not exactly, but you were very close to it. Yeah, she was quite strict, and the dad was too, but mom was too soft in her opinion.
Okay, yes. What will help? I didn't get it.
He said he needed a good and proper punishment.
Kind grandma. Okay, I see. Why has the incident come as a shock to his coach? I told earlier that because coach thought he was better than he is.
Yeah. Before that, he had always conducted himself well. Yeah. And what did Toby confide?
I don't know. No idea.
Some of his family secrets, yeah, that the parents' relationship was not very good, and some of his problems at school.
So, what was the scene and why? All the listening thought that he maybe stole something or killed someone or something like that. Something serious, but not as violent and cruel, like
Mhm.
maybe big criminal.
Okay, okay, we'll see it now because we're gonna look at the Kate scripts.
Okay.
So if that works, well, what's the problem? I think I'll have to restart the demonstration. Where is that? So these were the answers, yeah.
Track 6.
And yeah. So look, when he was a toddler, yeah, he said.
I did
So
childcare most days, and he was always a bit of a handful. I did try and instill a bit of discipline to him, but I'm not sure it really happened at home. My son, I heard this, that I'm not sure it really happened at home. My son would shout and tell him off, but then he'd burst into tears, and his mother wouldn't comfort him, so would comfort. Totally mixed messages, and it would come not that he is all bad. He helped me out sometimes since I've been unsteady on my feet, but really, if it's true, I hope they treat him. Something wrong with his head? It was he needs to get back on the straight and narrow.
So any difficult words here?
I don't know. No, maybe.
So how old are toddlers?
Toddlers, 1 year old.
Normally about 2 and 3, yeah, the kids who don't walk,
Yes.
but who crawl.
Okay.
A bit of a handful. What would that mean?
How can I say it in English in the other way? I understand that he badly behaved.
Yes, it's like difficult to control.
Yes.
Informal word. Anything else?
No.
No. Okay.
Maybe. No, maybe no. In the context, I understand all the phrases in the context.
Okay. And
it's more difficult to me to explain the meaning of the phrase when it's out of the context.
Yeah, it's always more difficult. What's happening with the demonstration today? What's the problem? Yes, here it goes. So,
The frustrating thing is he's a bright lad, but I would say he has a stubborn streak, and he's been prone to outbursts and answering back. I remember once I asked him to change desk point blank, and he refused point blank, and then we got into the ridiculous with neither of us willing to back down. I had to call the head in the end, so yeah, I guess it doesn't entirely surprise me he's ended up in this kind of trouble. Oh, poor child, what should happen now? Well, she will not accompany chance to exclude him permanently. I'll sure you know. So I don't understand the words a bright lad. I don't know it.
no, lad is just informal word to say guy.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah,
He was a clever student, yes?
Yes, a clever guy, Just nothing more.
Okay. He was a stubborn streak, like he's been prone to outbursts.
So prone to means like have a tendency to, yeah. An outburst is like when you get enraged, yeah. When you get enraged. He refused point blank. Yeah, what does that mean? It's like openly, without even inventing excuses, yeah? Without making up any excuses.
Yes,
Just,
like
no, I wouldn't,
yes.
because I don't want to. And that's all, yeah? So we had these back down, yeah? Anything else?
I understand everything.
Okay, great. Oh, what's up again? What's happening with the demonstration today? Oh my. Oh. Yeah. So.
Oh yes, hugely talented, and I would have thought all the way and turn professional. So has come as a big yes. I see. Maybe there's more to it than appears to be the case. He certainly conducted himself well here. I push him hard. Tried and done everything I've asked of him. He'd had the odd dispute on the pitch, but I always took that to be part of the game than something particular. Confided that his parents were going through a rough patch. Okay, and I was aware that he had a few issues at school. But I think training and the matches were always an escape from that. And I made sure this is just a setback and career. Yes.
So what does it mean to conduct well? Conduct yourself well.
To have an opportunity to do something by yourself and not distract on other things.
Just like behave. He behaved well. Okay, I push them hard. What would that
when you say do it, do it, do it.
Yes, yes. Take that on one's stride. What does that mean?
Then you say, okay, I will do it.
Yeah, it's like to deal with something difficult or unpleasant in a calm way. Yes, in a calm way. And what's a setback?
Hopefully
It's
this is
just a setback.
Maybe remembering.
It's like when you go back in your progress, yeah? When you go in reverse, you stepped forward, and then you take a step backward. That's a setback. So, ouch. Okay, and the last episode, no, not the last, the fourth episode. Fourth monologue.
Blows. I don't know these disease blows.
So we know a verb to blow as when the wind blows, yeah?
Yes.
But in this context, a blow means a stroke with a hand or a weapon. So when somebody hits you, for example, you get a blow, yeah? Or when somebody stabs you with a knife, you get a blow.
Oh. But the operation went very well. I hope he's remarkably good health. His own situation. A little frail now. I don't know the word frail.
So from the context, we can guess that it means something like weak, yeah? Weak. So discharge.
Expect him to make complete recovery in a few more days, but we'll probably discharge him next week. We'll probably discharge. Oh, the word charge has a lot of meanings. I don't know discharge.
So try to guess from the context. What are they talking about?
We are going to monitor him for a few more days, but we will probably discharge him next. Maybe when doctor says, "Oh, you are healthy, go to work."
Yes, just at least go home.
Uh-huh.
Yes, at least go home. Okay, that's it.
And from what I understand, he's still a bit confused about what happened, but he seems to think the young man who was arrested had actually called his aid. I don't understand what happened. Something awful.
I hope we will understand it from the last text, from the last monologue. Oh,
He was in my class and we kind of went out, okay, for a while. He came down as a charm and that, but he was just too unreliable. Okay, I see. When it came down to it, the only thing would arrange something about places, complacent, something connected with football, yes. Complacent, what to stay on early night.
Complacent is like when you show satisfaction with yourself, yeah? When you like feel that you're too good, yeah?
Okay, gotta stay on early night, conversation, got to conserve my energy for the game. I said, you might as well go out with coach, cause you've let me down too often. I would have probably stayed with him if he'd apologized, but he's too proud.
It's something like really.
Just walked away. It was cold. It's been awkward in class. I actually saw him the night it happened at this friend's party. I don't know what was up with him. He was acting strangely, staring at the people I was with, and there was like a bit of a scene, but I still doubt he'd do something like that. So I heard this information, but I now, even now, I don't understand what happened.
He got kind of quarrel and he was hit.
So, and okay, what was his fault in this case? Just
maybe that he hit back. Something like that. Yeah.
Maybe, but they...
there was a kind of boxing, I would say.
Yeah. Maybe, but it's they are our predictions, no?
Yeah, in a way. Okay, and now think over those questions. Yeah, I need to get the charge for my computer, so just think of those questions for a minute, yeah, and we'll
Okay.
discuss.
Okay. Yes, and what makes you think so? What would you do if you were a teacher? Would you players often argue on the pitch? Do you know when is he likely to get back home? What kind of person his former girlfriend is? Why do you think so? Okay. Questions.
So, do you think?
Presence. I use the dictionary. Okay. Presence. So, do you think his granny ever voiced your opinion in his presence? What makes you think so? Oh, in my opinion, maybe yes. Maybe yes. And I even think that that was an opinion who no one asked.
Yes, but she says you can't really interfere, can you? So that makes me think that she didn't voice her opinion because she thought she couldn't interfere. Probably, yeah.
I know a lot of grannies like she, so
yeah.
It's war between fathers and sons. Yes.
Yeah, very common thing.
Yes, we just can guess maybe. But in my opinion, she came to their house and said, "Oh, what a handful! Yes, child." Something like this. What?
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. What would you do if you were a teacher in that situation? Yeah.
Oh, I just would come to him to the hospital and bring him oranges because I don't understand. Because I don't understand what so bad and so violent he did. If he was attacked, he just defended himself. Yes, can I say like?
Yeah.
I got this thought of this situation. Maybe I'm wrong. So I don't feel any fault. Like this.
Well, I mean, when the student refused to change the seats, would you insist?
No. It's not my way of working and communicating with my students. I usually talk with them and say why I asked to do this. Why is he or she spoiling my lesson? Most of them are pretty clever to understand what I'm saying. So it's not a problem.
Okay. Do players often argue on the pitch? How do you know?
I don't know. I'm not a player. Maybe yes. Maybe
yes. How do we know that?
his coach said something like this, that he had to push them and and so on.
Okay. When is he likely to get back home?
His doctor said that next week.
Yes, yes. What kind of person his former girlfriend is, in your opinion?
Former girlfriend means ex-girlfriend.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
What kind of person? His former, typical woman. Maybe. Oh, a bird again. Okay, so maybe too little information to describe people. Maybe she is naive. Maybe. Maybe a little bit silly. I don't know. Why?
Okay.
Because I don't think that she was the only person who felt badly in these relationships. Yes, maybe he felt not comfortable too. Yes, and almost at that moment when their relationships stopped, she went to the party with other guys. Of course, he was angry with her, maybe. And of course, he might say something bad to one of the guys, and the incident happened. So maybe she's just naive and silly school girl.
Yeah, I would agree. Okay, now filling in the gaps. So they say John used to be addicted to drugs, but he
recovered.
Recover refers to illness. And here it's not
addiction
about
to drugs. It's kind of ill.
Okay, but if we consider it as the mode of behavior.
But is it a verb?
It's a collocation, a fixed phrase.
I know this phrase, yes.
We've just had it.
Oh, they say John used to be addicted to drugs, but he maybe something with got straight and back.
Yes, got back on the straight and narrow. Yeah.
Yes. As his grandmother said.
The wiser the person gets, the less
unwilling. Unwilling
to back down. Yeah. The less unwilling to back down they become.
When children get, they are prone to ignoring both of them. When children get stubborn back, when children get, they are prone to ignoring both of them. If I see all these phrases and can choose, I would do it quickly.
Me?
I don't remember.
Mixed?
Mixed messages.
Yeah, definitely.
Get mixed messages.
Mhm.
And then what on them? They forgot all
They forgot, of course.
the sins and cooperated effects. Cooperating. No.
So when
Mm,
it
mm,
when it came down to it, when it came down to it.
I wrote down this phrase. Came down eventually happened. When it came down to it, they forgot. Means are more likely to their peers than to parents. Maybe confide.
Yes, confide to their peers than to parents. Wonderful. Okay, and now let's focus on grammar a bit. Yeah. So, when can we use would?
In the second conditional sentences.
So, yes, unlikely or unreal, yeah? Second conditionals. Then what else might it mean?
When you say, I would like a cup of tea.
Yeah, so it would also mean past hypotheses or regret, like in the third conditional, yeah? Example.
Yes. If I had learned English when I was 10 years old, I would move to America earlier.
Yeah, but you should say, I would have moved. Yeah, third.
I have moved, yes.
Okay. Or, yeah, if Wojciech Senecki hadn't made his discoveries in contamination surgery, a lot more soldiers would have died. Yeah. Okay. Habitual past. Yeah. It would be the synonym to used to. Habitual past. Yeah. The synonym to used to. For example,
when I was 5 years old, I wouldn't eat vegetables.
Yes, yes. Okay. Future in the past. This is what you've just said, yeah? This is would instead of will. She met the man she would marry, yeah? Or your example?
I bought a book I would read someday.
Yeah, why not? Okay. Preferences.
Oh, yes. Would you like a cup of coffee? Yes.
Yeah. Or I would much rather wear a mask than work online. Yeah.
Really?
Really.
Oh.
Especially concerning working with groups, yeah, I feel it quite difficult to build up the decent rapport working online.
Yes, I don't like working with groups online, but face to face with one person.
Yes, that's tolerable at least, I would say. Okay, well then we can also use it for refusal. Like we had in the example, yeah, he just wouldn't.
I couldn't photocopy the document since the printer just wouldn't work.
Then, yeah, the teacher told him, like in the text, told him to change the seat, but he wouldn't. Then, advice, yeah?
If I were you, I
Yeah.
would learn English earlier.
Polite requests.
So, would you like a cup of coffee?
Would you mind opening the window? Would you
mind-
like is the offer, yeah? Would you like meeting tomorrow? Yeah. Then cautious opinions, like when you are not sure. I would say he's quite talented. Or I think I would agree. Okay. And of course, you change the reported speech.
Yes.
She promised she would help me, yeah?
Okay, yes.
Okay. And now, so we have to match these sentences to the sentence which has the same meaning of would, yeah?
Okay. I probably would have stayed with him if he had apologized.
So, what's the same meaning?
I probably would.
So what is the meaning of would here?
Third conditional unreal.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now let's find the unreal past here.
Okay. If they had intervened, intervened, the situation would be a lot worse now.
Exactly. Okay.
When he was a toddler, I'd do the childcare most. I'd do the childcare most day. When he was a toddler. Used to. I've never met such a meaning of would. We just always used to. Because I don't have any upper, intermediate, or advanced students, so so for some reason I wouldn't start this one. No. Talking about being a therapist, you shouldn't bottle this thing up. No. Instead, it would be measurable before the anger management process. It often get into unnecessary.
Yes, that's it.
I knew it would come to no good, but you can't really interfere, can you? I knew it would come. I knew it would come to no good, but you can't interfere. Second conditional? No. No. Maybe cautious.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh. See?
I would agree. Let's check. Yes. Once asked him to change desks and he just wouldn't. He refused point blank.
I remember once I asked him to change desk and he refused point blank. I remember what I asked him and he just wouldn't, just refused. It's very
So what is this?
B.
Yes, the car wouldn't start.
He should obviously be funny, but after that I would still give it's second conditional.
It's like kind of advice, yeah,
Yes, but we can use should and so on, could in second conditional. So he should obviously, but after that I would still give him. I'd still give him another chance.
So what's that?
A.
Definitely.
I would say he has a stubborn streak and he's been prone to outbursts and answering back. So it's F. No?
Yes, it's like opinion, yeah, like cautious opinion.
Just a slight
I
sense.
would say. Okay. Now rephrasing, yeah. So use would, the word in bold, and up to 4 other words to complete. So
4 other words.
Yes.
Oh.
So it's up to 6 words in total, yeah?
Oh.
Would plus this word plus up to 4 other words.
I'm completely with you on that. I would agree with you.
That's right. Or you might say, I would completely agree.
If you ask me, it wasn't his fault. I would say there is nothing to blame.
What about his fault? I would say
So I see that I have to begin the sentence with I.
I would say that's correct.
I would say his fault.
I would say he wasn't to blame.
He wasn't to blame.
Yeah. Or I would say he wasn't to blame. Yeah. So I wouldn't say he was to blame, or I would say he wasn't to blame. Okay.
We made several offers, but they rejected all of them. Not wouldn't. We made several offers, but they rejected all of them. They our offers. They would not accept any our offers.
Yes, any of our offers.
Any of our offers, okay? I think the best thing to do is walk away. I think the best thing to do is walk away. Involved. Why? Hate such tasks. Involved if you will. I would involved into work away if I were you. No, why?
Virtually. So I
would have involved.
I wouldn't get involved if I were you. Just walk away, not get involved. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Say nasty things behind people's back. I wish he wouldn't have a beachy traits of character. No. I wish he wouldn't say any bitchy words behind their backs.
Yes, virtually. Or you can say, I wish he wouldn't bitch about people. Yeah. Don't forget, you can't change the word given.
Really? I didn't know this. Okay, I'm sorry. They shouldn't let him stay. They shouldn't let him stay if he's going to behave like. If he behaved like that in my house, I would kick him away.
Yes. Or kick him out.
I'm unlikely to replace it. Imagine. I wouldn't imagine. I wouldn't imagine. I wouldn't imagine. I can't imagine. I can't imagine it would be a new one.
I wouldn't imagine I would get a new one. Yeah. Or maybe yes, I can't imagine is also possible.
Okay, very good. It shouldn't take more than a week to arrive. It shouldn't take more than a week to arrive. Expect. I would expect that it shouldn't take more than a week to arrive. I expect we would get here before next Friday.
Or I would expect it to get here. Yeah. I would expect it to get here. Okay. Well, so next one, yeah. The story of Toby, yeah. So what you would say his childhood was like?
I would to write sentences about think about what you'd say his childhood was like. What should I do?
Like so for example, what you would say his childhood was like? I would say he wouldn't obey his parents, and his parents would argue a lot.
I would say that, in my opinion, he would behave like this when he was a child because of his parents, because they argued a lot. So it's not a child, it wasn't a child's fault.
Okay, why you would say different people have the opinions they have? Well, I would say his granny doesn't like her daughter-in-law.
Yes, exactly. Why you'd say different people have the opinions they do? Oh, because I should use would. Yes. Those people would. How can I use would here? Why you'd say different people have the opinions they do? I can say I would say that different people had their opinions because all the people have their own opinions. For example, yes, Granny didn't like her daughter-in-law, and maybe his ex-girlfriend. In my opinion, didn't get the situation. She didn't understand, for example, the importance of football for her boyfriend and so on.
Okay. Why you think he was arrested and how it would have been different in other circumstances?
So according to this story, I think he was arrested because he defended himself, and this situation would have been different if his ex-girlfriend had behaved another way, for example, or he hadn't attacked back.
Okay. Well, what you would hope would happen to Toby now?
What would you have?
I wouldn't expect him to be found guilty, for example. I would hope the victim would explain what had happened.
Hope would happen to Toby. I hope he would be punished for attacking some person, but I hope he would be apologized by head teacher at school. Yes, maybe because he have to get an education. And maybe I hope he would got better after after being injured.
Okay. What you would advise him and the people he knows to do?
What you would advise him and the people he knows to do? I would advise him to stop his relationships with ex-girlfriends totally. I would advise him to return to training, football training, if it's possible. And I would advise him to talk maybe face to face with his grandmother. Why not? Maybe it would help.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, and now let's have a look here. So, what relationship in exercise 1 do you think is being talked about in this sentence? They are going through a bit of a rough patch and have talked about splitting up. So who are these they?
From Toby's story, yes?
Mm-hmm.
They're going through a bit of a rough patch and have talked about splitting up his parents.
Yes, exactly.
I keep an eye on her as she quite frail and has no relatives nearby. On her?
So who might it be? What relationship from Toby's story might that be?
It's a girl, yes, or woman? So we have 3 options: grandmother, teacher, and girlfriend, no? So maybe grandma who can be frail.
But the phrase is, she has no relatives.
Nearby.
Teacher? Yeah, teacher, As
Why is she frail?
Probably because she's ill.
Okay.
She really sparked my interest in science. So who is that she?
The teacher.
Yes, definitely. I've collaborated with him on a number of projects and he taught me a lot.
A doctor.
He taught me a lot. Well, maybe a doctor, maybe a
coach. Or a coach.
Collaborated. We are not on speaking terms at the moment, which can make it awkward at meetings.
His girlfriend.
Maybe, yes. We are on first name terms, as I have to go and see him so often.
On first name terms, as I have to go and see him so. Coach? Or a doctor?
Yeah, that's a doctor.
Okay.
Maybe.
They maintain a professional relationship, but they don't see eye to eye on many issues. Oh. Coach?
Maybe, or maybe colleagues. Yeah, we don't have this in the listening, but we have this in exercise 1. Yeah.
Okay. They get on each other's nerves all the time. They're constantly competing for my attention. They are his parents.
Yes. Okay.
She puts people at their ease and reassures them about the whole process. Oh. I don't know.
Why not the doctor? He reassures, he explains the whole process. Yeah.
Okay. He pushes his kids incredibly hard. It's a coach.
Maybe, yes.
And his father.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway. I don't know. Any of them tend to keep ourselves to ourselves, and any of them as we tend to keep ours. I don't really know any of them as we tend to keep ourselves to ourselves. Who can it be?
Colleagues, for example.
Oh, yes, maybe.
Mhm. Do you understand this expression, keep ourselves to ourselves?
Of course, yes.
Yes. Okay.
He
He doesn't tend to pull his weight,
which
which
causes
causes
some friction.
friction in the office.
And to pull his weight, which causes some friction in the office. So, colleagues.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Do you understand this expression, he doesn't pull his weight?
He doesn't tend to pull his weight, which causes some. Maybe. It's difficult to explain, very difficult.
Well, when you pull your weight, you do your part of job. Yeah. There is like a whole big task, yeah, which is separated into a few smaller tasks, and each of you has to do your own part of the job. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Now, let's have a look here, yeah? So, read through those problems. We have a couple at the next slide as well, and choose the most interesting one, for example.
I don't know.
And a few more, maybe? So which one would you choose?
Anything. So.
Okay, I would opt for that about mom and dad, yeah? When your dad is looking after your mom. But before we start discussing, so what phrases can we use to ask for advice?
You should.
Now, asking for, what do you think I should do?
What do you think I should do? Maybe what would you advise me? What would your advice be like for me? What can I do?
What can I do about it? What can be done about it? How can the problem be solved? And what are the phrases to sympathize? So before you give advice, you ought to sympathize, right?
So maybe, oh dear.
Yes. That must be difficult.
I know
I
that.
know exactly what you're going through. Something similar happened to me, to my mom too, yeah? And you might just say, you poor thing.
Mhm.
Okay. And to give advice.
So if I were you, I would. You
Mhm.
should.
Yeah. Have you drunk hot milk, for instance, if you've got a sore throat? Yeah. Have you drunk hot milk? I'd have thought you could. Yeah. I would have thought you could. And some things like, why don't you? I would say it might help if you. Yeah. So let's have a look. Well, my dad is looking after my mom currently because she is quite frail and unsteady on her feet, but he's actually 87 and he's quite forgetful himself. So I'm afraid he is struggling to cope. What would you advise me to do?
Oh, that must be difficult for your dad. I have thought you could employ a nurse for your mom. And she would help your father to look after your mother.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, and now you ask me for some advice.
Oh. So, so, can I look again at the ideas from cards, students A, B, C?
Oh, yes.
Because I'm blank.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, why not? So, can you imagine? Last night I heard how my neighbors shouted to each other, and probably her husband hit his wife, and she screamed, "Stop it, help me," and so on. I will call the police, and so on. So, what do you think I should do?
Oh dear. I know exactly what you're going through. Well, I would have thought you could call the police.
Why not? Yes, but I'm a little bit afraid to call the police because I'm a little bit afraid of my neighbor. He is crazy one.
Oh, have you just closed the door properly in that case?
Thank you for advice. I would close the door properly.
Okay. So, any questions?
No questions. Everything's okay. Yes.
So, what's the most, I would say, the most significant takeaway from this lesson for you?
Takeaway. So I don't know why, but it seems to me that I understand more than couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
I see, I mean the vocabulary, the phrases, the
Mhm.
text,
Mhm.
so on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
So. Mhm.
Yes, it's true, even if I'm not able to use these phrases immediately in speaking,
Mhm.
but
Mhm. But that's okay. That's okay.
finally I understand you and I understand the texts and the tasks.
Mhm.
Maybe 80%.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great.
Yes.
Okay. Well, now see you on Thursday at our regular time, right?
Yes. Thank you for the
Yeah, bye.
Why?